afternoon. I'm Shawnee Au, and this is One News Now. The Commission on Elections assures the public of credible elections this year amid several issues. Let's get the details from Greg Gregorio, who's reporting to us live from the Comelec in Manila. Greg, let's start off with the supposed delays in the issuance of the rulings on Marcos Jr.'s disqualification cases. What did the Comelec have to say about the delays?
Sean, for the first time, the Comelec Commissioner Amy Ferolino addressed this question on the media, saying that amid the issues hounding the supposed delay of the issuance of her financial on the disqualification cases against Bongbong Marcos, Ferolino said the issue is just a minor issue that should not affect the credibility of the Commission on Elections as a whole, and this issue only involves a few individuals, and she even highlighted that there are a number of employees or personnel of the Commission on Elections that would run the upcoming elections, and this should ensure that the election results of the coming polls will still have integrity. Sean?
All right, these petitioners are calling on Commissioner Amy Ferolino to inhibit herself from the review of the appeals of these decisions. Did Commissioner Ferolino have any comment on this?
Sean, it was the petitioners Akbayan et al. Who are calling for the inhibition of Commissioner Amy Ferolino once the unbanked decides on their motion for reconsideration. We tried asking that question to Commissioner Ferolino earlier today, but she refused to answer. Instead, we've asked the Comelec spokesperson James Jimenez about this matter, but Jimenez said the unbanked would not step in regarding this call for Ferolino's inhibition. It will only be Ferolino who will be able to resolve this issue. But Jimenez was quick to clarify, though, that this is not, that if Ferolino decides to inhibit herself from the decision, this will not be the first time that a commissioner would inhibit. But Jimenez was further asked that if what would be the impact to the unbanked if Ferolino decides to inhibit. As we all know, we currently have a 4-member unbanked, and Jimenez said if Ferolino would inhibit, this would affect the quorum of the unbanked. Therefore, the decision or the timing for the decision for the unbanked to decide on the motion for reconsideration will be affected. Sean?
All right, Greg, will there be any further changes or tweaks in campaign guidelines ahead of the elections?
Sean, as of today, the acting chair, Socorro Inting, only mentioned that they might review the guidelines for campaign amid the pandemic. As she has highlighted, their guidelines is dependent or reflected, is reflecting the IATF rules, providing the health protocols amid the pandemic. And Comelec spokesperson James Jimenez further explained that if the IATF has changed some guidelines, then it will also be reflected in the Comelec's guidelines for campaign. He was mentioning particularly the use of face shield, and if this would indeed be changed, a resolution will be issued about this. Sean?
All right. What about the Comelec receiving any formal complaints so far on vote buying as well as other election or campaign violations? Greg, have there been any real reports, and are they being addressed?
Sean, so far, the Commission on Elections said that they have received reports of violation in terms of health protocols in-person campaigns or campaign rallies. Aside from that, the Commission on Elections is continuously doing their upland baklas, or the removal of illegally posted campaign materials. Aside from this, Jimenez was asked earlier about the supposed distribution of cash aid by presidential candidate Isko Moreno, but Jimenez was quick to clarify that he have heard this instance just for the first time, and he also highlighted that it is not easy to say outright if it is a violation to the existing election laws or if it is a vote buying, because according to Jimenez, with the absence of further details about the circumstances, this could be an exception, as this could be a humanitarian aid or anything or any program that might be ongoing. That is according to Jimenez. Sean?
All right, thank you so much for all those updates. Greg Gregorio of News 5 reporting to us live from Intramuros in Manila. Presidential vets exchanged views on certain issues, including territorial dispute and armed conflict, in a debate hosted by media firm SMNI. Camille Samonte gives us the recap.
Presidential candidates Bongbong Marcos Jr., Leody de Guzman, Norberto Gonzales, and Ernesto Abella laid out their platforms and strategies during the SMNI presidential debates. The first round of the debate focused on foreign policy. De Guzman proposed to transform the contested area into an economic zone instead of a war zone.
Tingin ko dapat gamitin natin yung panalo natin sa International Tribunal at kakampihin natin yung mga iba pang mga hinaharas ng China.
Gonzales meanwhile vowed to take a stand against the claim of China.
Para bang nawala ng respeto ang bansa China sa atin. Kaya kung tayo kikilos, uunahin natin ang pagbibigay ng respeto sa ating bansa.
Marcos, on the other hand, claimed that this year's election was the first time when the nation's foreign policy with China became an issue.
Marami talaga tayong issue, hindi lamang sa conflicting camps sa gitna ng Pilipinas at saka China. Kaya't ngayon lang ang nakita kong national election na naging issue ang West Philippine Sea or ang foreign policy.
However, the country's policy on China actually became a central aspect of President Duterte's 2016 presidential campaign. In fact, it was during that time when he promised to personally take a jet ski to the contested territory to plant a Philippine flag there. The long-standing issue of armed struggle, meanwhile, became a heated point of discussion among candidates. All candidates said they will be pushing for peace talks with communist insurgents. But de Guzman also pointed out that rebellion is rooted in injustice and poverty, and that this must be addressed.
Walang tao na gusto mong lumaban ng armado sa gobyerno na full battergill yung ating gobyerno. Pero maabot sa ganun dahil yung kasaysayan ng ating bansa ay puro panunupil at gumagamit ng dahas, pumapatay. Panahon ni Marcos, panahon ni Duterte, kay Gloria, ang daming pinatay.
Marcos quickly opposed de Guzman, saying he could not support an ideology that calls for an armed struggle.
Kahit anong paliwanag ang gagawin mo, hindi ako maaring sumang-ayon sa ideolohiya na ang may kasamang armed struggle para pabagsakin ang gobyerno. Kahit anuman ang dahilan, wala na talaga sa batas yan.
Gonzales, another presidential candidate, said that there could be a peaceful solution to poverty and injustice instead of armed struggle.
Yung mga sinabi ni Leody, pwede namang bigyan na ng mapayapang solusyon. Pwede na yan. At ang hindi lang nararapat ay pagka tayo ay nagkaroon ng mga hindi pagkakaintindihan na mga bagay na ganyan, gagamit tayo ng dahas. Hindi kailangan yan.
Marcos and Abella also voiced their support for the NTF-ELCAC. For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
And water interruptions in several areas in Metro Manila and Cavite have been extended until the end of the month. Shaila Francisco tells us why.
Residents of Almanza dos Las Piñas thought they would have to endure the lack of water supply for a limited time. But the water interruption has once again been extended until the end of February. This laundry shop has to limit customers to 15 a day.
Walang customer, lalo na wala rin tubig po. Pati sa napupuya at kakaipon, Grabe pa sakit ng ano ngayon, ma'am. Maynilad. Hindi namin ini-expect. Kala namin last na po kasi yung 15 eh.
Around 180,000 households in Las Piñas, Muntinlupa, Parañaque, and cities in Bacoor are still affected by up to 19 hours of water interruption. Maynilad said increased water turbidity from Laguna Lake due to the northeast monsoon is still affecting the production in its Putatan treatment plant. But the concessionaire assures consumers that this may be the last extension as production is slowly increasing.
At this level, kaya na natin siya ma-sustain. So, in the next few days until the end of February, mag-i-improve na yung production.
Around 200 barangays in Manila and Imus City will also be affected by the water service interruption starting Thursday. In Imus, residents rush to get the available supply in the stationary water tanker. They say they have been struggling with supply since December.
Minsan kasi natulog at tulad kahapon, tumulo ng konti, malakas pa ihin ng bata. Oh. Paano ka makakaipon? O ngayon, hindi yung naipon namin, wala na uli.
Araw-araw kami nagtatabo eh. Galing trabaho kami panggabi. Pag uwi namin, mag-iigib pa.
Maynilad said that the high demand affects supply from Angat Dam.
Pagka nakikita natin na masyadong malakas yung demand, bumababa kaagad yung ipon nating tubig sa mga imbakan. So, pinipigilan natin na masadsad ang ating ipon sa reservoirs kasi mas malaking problema siya pag naubos yun.
The National Water Resources Board warns that this will be the scenario consumers will face in the coming months as demand increases approaching summer. For now, the NWRB has tasked water concessionaires to prepare its deep wells and additional treatment plants to prevent more water interruptions in the future. They are also asking the public to conserve water when necessary. Shaila Francisco, VR1 News.
Let's check in on the latest in sports. The Philippines' lone Winter Olympics representative, skier Asa Miller, registered a DNF or did not finish in the men's slalom event. This loss ends his Olympic journey in Beijing. Johann Strolz of Austria won the event, finishing with 53.92 seconds. And the Alaska Aces are leaving the PBA after more than 3 decades in the league. In a statement, Alaska said that its parent company wants to restructure to ensure long-term sustainability in its business. The Aces had won 14 titles, including a Grand Slam in 1996. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.